What's up, everyone? I'm Merc, and this is Trading Shots, a show where we debate all things CWL. I'm handing out points for strong arguments and hot takes. Last week, Ben, by surprise, won again as he was able to break that losing streak. This week, though, we've got the classic lineup once more. It's Maven, Benson, and Pac-Man. Guys, how are we doing?
I'm good. Glad to finally win. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
By the way.
Birthday. Happy birthday, Maven.
Birthday. How old is it now? Like
74.
34.
I'm 40.
I'm halfway dead.
That's a very positive way of looking at it.
All right, so a couple of weeks done. You guys felt good about Division A?
Yeah.
I'm fun. I'm just happy to be in the league. I'm excited for Division B.
I do want to address my timeline after last week. You called 3-1.
Do I get my spa day?
I have booked you a spa day.
Yep.
I have. I'm a man of my word. Although I will say.
We'll say what, Ben?
What are you going to say?
Everyone disagreed with what he said, including you.
Yes, I did.
It was a ridiculous statement. And everyone, Clint's the smartest.
Well, that's the way
Clint
operates. He says 100 dumb things, one smart thing, and it pays off.
But I think that I'm just more intelligent than everyone here.
All right, let's get it going, though, with First Blood. Here we go. Division A play has concluded after a surprising performances across the board. We've reached the end. What team, though, I want to know what team was the most impressive at the end of Division A? Ben, you won last week. Who was the most impressive to you?
How did you win?
I'm smarter than you.
That's
exactly
all right.
Clinton, you haven't won yet.
I will say impressive. I think you could maybe make an argument for ASTRO Gaming, obviously playing without Dashi, their star. I'm going to go with Midnight, though. They were so good at the PLQ, and I think there was a big question mark on, are they still going to be that good when they get to the league? When they're playing against the top competition, what are we going to see? They had a little bit of a stumble when they played against LG, but I think that's when you look at the veto process and what they picked in terms of maps, you're like, well, you're digging your own grave at that point. Besides that, though, I think Midnight is still a fantastic team, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we get at an open event, not necessarily just at the league.
So you're going with Midnight. You know, they go 5-2. A couple of losses. You know, week 2 is a little bit rougher, but that's going to happen, right? You're playing some of the best teams in the world. Pac, Division A, who impressed you the most?
The most impressive team to me in Division A, second week, has to be LG. You said they stumbled a little bit. No. LG dominated Midnight. That's the most impressive performance we saw in both weeks by far. I personally gave LG so much flack last week. They were terrible, awful, despicable.
Yeah.
God awful. But last week, they performed at a level that we expect them to be at. They beat the crap out of Midnight, beat ASTRO Gaming, lost 3-2 to Gen G. They just looked so much better. That was an impressive performance. Slacked was amazing last week. He looked terrible week 1, one of the worst players here. Week 2, you could argue that he was the best player in all of Division A in week 2. You could make a strong argument for that. LG was super impressive. Slack did a great job. I'm proud of that performance.
All right, so LG, you're going with them. Yeah, they go 3-1, and hang on to that Slack point because we're going to go to that a little bit later on in the show. Maven, birthday boy for you. Who is the most impressive?
Gen G. And I think Gen G's easy. They go 9-0 in search. They have four of the 5 top KDs in search, which is insane. But I think what makes it all more impressive for me, this is a team that barely made it in. You go back to the Pro League qualifier. They start 1-3 and have to make that run to get to 3-3. Then it's down to the final match if they're even going to get in. So I think a lot of us were kind of low on them just based on the Pro League qualifier. And then they come in so prepared. I started to feel good about them just after Hot Mic with Havoc because I did the one-on-one interview with him, and Havoc said, "This is the best I've ever felt about the team. This is the most I've ever trusted my teammates." And wow, did they look impressive. I mean, the search alone, they're never out of series. Like, if you have one game mode that you play twice, if it's hardpoint or search that you're incredible at, you are always in series. And they've been able to clutch up, and it's been nuts.
I will say, I remember an episode last year where you said Search and Destroy doesn't win championships.
I still
argue to the grave.
I still don't think that's the thing.
Well,
I still think SD wins championships. But whether it's hardpoint or search, you need to be really good in one of those two teams. I just always thought that saying was kind of silly.
Well, that's the thing, though, right? I think they did show a weakness towards the end. If there is a very strong respawn team in Midnight, they got 3-1 by them to finish the week. We still know Gen G has some work to do, but 6-win the first couple of weeks, that's a solid start. So follow up to that. We talked about the most impressive teams. I want to know, throughout Division A, Ben, I'm going to start with you. Which team going into Fort Worth has to make a roster change?
I think you look at EG. Straight off the rip, I think EG is a team which had so much potential. You go back to Vegas and you look at their day 1 performance, you think, oh my God, this team's a real deal. Then all of a sudden, things don't go their way. Then you look at the PLQ, rush change come through. There's something not right with that team. I don't know what it is. I spoke to a lot of people about it. No one really can put their finger on it. You could make arguments of slaying. You look at the stats. Well, I think 5 of their players are the bottom 6, I believe it is right now, in terms of AKDs. You look at the way they actually play as a team, and sometimes it's amazing. Like their series against Midnight, I think it was the frequency hardpoint, the way that they use a lightning strike and the fantastic teamwork to break, but then all of a sudden things just don't go their way. It's a very weird team, and I think they need a roster change. I think honestly, if it doesn't happen, let's say tomorrow.
I don't agree at all.
You don't think EG needs to change?
No.
Okay.
No, because they're losing Surge and Destroys. Well, you change one player off the team.
But how do you just fix that, though? It's got to be a multiplayer change, but...
You can't fix it by just dropping someone. You drop someone.
You can drop all 5 and pick up 5 new players.
Well, I was talking to Goonjar as well. I was talking to Goonjar, and he felt like at the Pro League qualifier, their Search and Destroy was great. Yes, it's still not some of the better teams in the world.
Let's not forget
but they focus so hard on the respawns where maybe that struggle packed for you. Roster change, which team has to make it?
You say EG. I'm going to say the team that lost to EG, Reciprocity. I legitimately think that Reciprocity was the worst team.
Now I don't know what my answer is, because that was going to be my answer.
That's tough. I legitimately believe they were the worst team throughout Division A. Yeah, EG struggled. We know how bad they were. But Reciprocity, they couldn't hold hardpoint leads. They're not that good at Search and Destroy. They won 3 round 11s in a row. And then, they just looked lackluster at best at times. It was Tommy doing a lot of slaying. We saw some at a Zed. But everyone else on the team, exceedingly average. They all looked so average. They need to do something. They need to add, Dylan or Alex. They need a lot of slaying power on that team, for sure. Something about that team, to me, every time I watch them, I'm just not impressed by anything that they do. Okay. Their wins are so close.
Hater.
They lost EG.
I think the one good thing.
When they played EG looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And they were the worst. They looked fantastic when they played Reciprocity.
And I think for Reciprocity, the one thing you can look at is, I'm sure a lot of people bring it up, but they beat Midnight, right? But you look at that Midnight match, it was a Game 5. It had to be a reverse sweep. It was a couple of round 11s, I believe. They were down 0-2 in control. Yep. The big thing for me for Reciprocity, the hard points. When you go up by 100, something's got to fix. They got to figure it out. Maven, I know it's a tough one. Which team has to make a roster change?
Oh God, I think it's almost impossible to argue someone better than those 2 teams. I think EG and Reciprocity are best answers. I think that I was leaning towards Reciprocity going into this, but I think the issue for them is it's not the same as EG because of the situation with housing and stuff. They have all those guys here in the United States. Like one's from Australia. Obviously, you've got 4 guys from Europe. It's a very different situation, which I think makes it a little bit harder to make a change.
Don't make it personal.
No.
They signed up for this.
I get it. But I do think they have to make a change. I just think it's going to be harder for them to make a change than EG. I think EG making a 1 or 2 player swap is just kind of easy. There's a lot of players in North America available. I think it's going to be harder for Reciprocity to fix it, but I agree because EG, like you said, if they fix Search, they have some things they can do, but Reciprocity is just folding. They're folding in moments. It seems like they're missing some key piece, whether it's a vocal lead or something in those comms, where they're falling apart time and time again. Because that's something that happened once, twice. It's 3, 4 times where they're just
happen.
Yeah. So that to me, it's not a skill thing. They just need someone to rein them in. I don't know. I don't know who it is, but something's got to change.
Yeah, Division A is done now, right? Their first couple of weeks, and those roster changes, we're going to keep an eye on those going into Fort Worth. But that's going to do it for First Blood. Let's take a look at the scores. Ben and Maven, you're at 4 pack. You got 5 points. So you can see he's going to be up first for Quickscope. Or I'm sorry, we changed that. It's actually going to be Ben who's up first for Quickscope because he's in last place.
Who agreed to that?
Technically,
I'm in joint last place with the birthday boy.
Well, I might give it to the birthday boy.
I think out of respect for you being older than me and respect for your elders, you can go first.
Thank you.
You're older than me.
Yeah, we'll let you go first.
What's the damn question?
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Well, hey, we're going to get
me
right
time
into
to think about my
Quickscope.
answer, though.
Okay.
But here we go. Let's get Quickscope started. Last week, we saw LG go 3-1.
Oh, the perfect.
And, just like you predicted, Clint. But I want to know, which player on that roster contributed the most to that turnaround?
I would like to go first.
No.
Whoa.
You already volunteered, Maven.
Get out of here,
Maven,
Ben.
you're up first.
I'm first. All right, I think it's going to be very hard to make an argument that it's not Slacked. Slacked had such a turnaround. I believe it was like a 0.27 increase as his overall KD. Like, the way that he improved was insane. I think it's even more impressive because all the flack he was under. So I had a day off for the one day. What was it last week? One of the days off. And I was in the chat. The chat goes in so hard on Slack. The tweets he must get have to be mind-boggling how much people go at him for his performances. It felt like he was absolutely being the scapegoat. People were going at him for his performance, and then he turns it around like that. And especially, like, he always loves to play Optic too, but that specific series, he was insane. He was probably their best player for sure. Slacked. I think it's Slacked.
All right, you're going with Slacked. Ben, you're in second place for LG. Who is that one player that turned things around?
I'll just copy everything Clint just said and paste it across. It's Slacked. I don't even need the full 30 seconds here. It'd be a waste of everyone's time. Slacked improved.
I think there's other arguments.
Nah,
I'm not impressed right now, Ben.
I mean, you don't have to be impressed because there's only one answer, and it is, in fact,
Let's just
Slacked.
get to Pac-Man.
You look at the statistics, the way he's improved. It was insane. It was insane. Everything from really poor graph slams to all of a sudden making better decisions on when to use them, working more as a team. I was super impressed with everything I saw from Slacked.
That's like 5 grab slams against Optic.
Yeah, he did.
I was trying to gas him up.
Yeah,
I'm
he
still
did,
gonna
he
say
did miss a
Slacked.
couple.
Still going to say Slacked.
You're going with Slacked.
Still going to say Slacked.
All right, I think there's other answers. Pac, please save me. Who are you going with
Slacked.
for LG? Who's turning it around?
Slacked played amazing this week. But he just played amazing compared to how he played the week before. We were talking so much crap about him.
I don't know.
No, he played really.
Hey, it's Pac's turn. Go ahead.
He definitely played a terrific week. But for me, it was the MVP. It was Gunless. Just because Slack played better. You're saying that they would have won those matches without Gunless. Gunless dropping Sniper's Nest. He was going off every single series, consistently outperforming everyone, as we're used to seeing. Week 1, he was average. Week 2, he was in MVP mode. It has to be Gunless.
All right, you're going with Gunless. I think you could argue John as well. It's not like John really played that well the first week. You guys missed that one. The big thing for Slacked, a 0.27 difference in his average KD. Yeah, he played a big point to it, but we sort of expect that from Slacked, right? Like, he was a consistent player for years to come. We knew it was going to really turn around for him, but it was those other pieces, guys like John, when they were going to step up.
I know I can't get points for this after my 30 seconds, but like, just to give Slack more credit, like talking to him and talking to some of the players, like I talked to them a lot. Like, it seemed like he was the one person that kind of wasn't giving up at times. Like, he was the one guy that still believed they could do it, the one guy that was getting frustrated that not everyone was trying to work together. So I think he did a lot internally, too, and I think that's equally impressive. I wish I didn't leave that out of my argument.
All right, that's it for our first question of the Quickscope. Now let's take a look ahead at Division B. They're coming in, but this is this schedule. Now pay attention to this schedule, guys, because the next question revolves around this. Ben, you're up first. I want to know, what team from this division will make the strongest debut?
Vamos Heretics.
Going Heretics.
Not only am I so unbelievably excited to watch Heretics, I love seeing them at the PLQ. I think they actually have a pretty decent schedule. I say pretty decent because they do start off with E United, and for me, that's the key. You start off strong. If they get some form of a result against them, they're going 4-0. It's going to be simple. You look at Denal, E6, Accelerate. Those 3 teams, I personally believe Heretics can beat, and maybe even comfortably. But it all starts with that E United game. If they come out, they play well, have a good show, they're going 4-0. They're going to be the most impressive team. We're going to be talking about Heretics like we were talking about Midnight after week 1.
All right, so you're going Heretics. Your 30 seconds is up. Pac, you're up next. Who's making the strongest debut from Division B?
I'm going to go with Enigma 6. E6, they play
Okay.
E United, Heretics, and Splice. Now, if they come out of this week 2-1, if they come out of this week 2-1, that is an extremely impressive week. Right off the rip. 2-1 against E United. It doesn't matter which of those teams they beat. E United, Heretics, Splice. That's 2 of the top 3 teams in the division. I believe that they're a team that strives off like some momentum. They come out hot and beat United. I could see them going 3-0 for sure.
Yeah, I think Enigma 6 is one of those teams who we might just be underlooking just yet. They had a great Pro League qualifier. I don't know if I trusted that much yet to go 2-1 against teams like United and Spice. We'll have to see.
I assumed my easy answer wasn't going to be left, so I was prepared to make up some crazy stuff like he just
All right, go ahead. Start.
No, I'm going to go, now that it's still on the table, I'm going to go E United. I think they are one of the best teams in the game, and their strong finish in Vegas really hasn't seemed to slow down. Like, some teams have been up and down, but if you've been watching E United scrims, they've still been dominating. They look like one of the most cohesive units in the game. I think it's going to carry right in. Like, some of the teams came up with a slow start. I think E United's still going to be dominant. Like, they might be the best team in the game. Just based on scrims and how they've been performing, they've been so good. I think E United likely are going to be the best team in Division B, and I'm excited to see them play.
There's no way you're talking about scrims right now.
No. What else do we have to talk about?
Okay, but Vegas obviously doesn't matter.
Well,
obviously.
What else do we have to talk about with United? All we have is scrims right now.
And
Am I supposed to make up some fake event?
And I will say you did make up some stuff because if you've watched their scrims, they have struggled quite a bit.
Yeah, the United scrims I've watched. The United scrims I've been watching, they've been fantastic.
And also, you can only even watch a couple teams scrim. That's not even a fair argument.
I will say, I think United, when they look at the schedule, they have very much an opportunity because their strength of schedule isn't that strong.
Joe, I know that I probably watch more scrims than you, but United have been doing very well.
I was going to give you -1, but it's your birthday, all right? So I won't do it.
You need to get back to the quiz.
There's no way. All right, so we talked about who's going to make the strongest debut. Now with Division B, we saw that schedule. I want to know which team do you think has the roughest road ahead of them this week? Pac, you're up first. What do you think?
I have to go with 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves has so much pressure to me coming into this week. They changed one out. They changed out Pharaoh for Priesta. Priesta personally has a lot of pressure on him this week. Everyone knows how good he is, but now it's time where he has to perform. He has to perform. He has to do his best. If he does not come out and perform this week, not only is 100 Thieves going to be under fire, he's going to be under fire. They're going to be like, why did you make those moves? They have a tough week ahead. They need to come out hot. If they don't get those early wins, I don't know what's going to happen with 100 Thieves. They could be looking at a tough week ahead.
Don't you think, though, for Priesta, I mean, it's very similar to Methods where he was just offering a spot, like...
No, that's true.
Okay.
That's definitely true, but the way we were all talking about him, the way he was instantly the first person picked up off the free agent wire, whatever you want to call it. He was instantly the first person picked up. That makes you a hot commodity. You have to perform.
Yeah, you absolutely do. The big thing for 100 Thieves, they play Envy, Splice, and United all in the first week. Those are your top 3 seeds. It's going to be a very big test for this 100 Thieves squad. Maven?
I'm going.
What do you think? Roughest week?
I'm going Accelerate. They play 3 matches, but they're really tough matches, and they don't have the same pressure as 100 Thieves. Like, they absolutely don't. But I think there's a very good chance they come out and go 0-3 to start the week, and it's just not what you want. We see there was a lot of pressure put on teams early in Division A. I think they're going to be one team in the hot seat early in Division B. It's interesting because I guess I don't have the highest expectations with them based on just the competitiveness of the division, but it starts out really, really tough. I think Accelerate likely goes 0-3.
Yeah, I think Accelerate, when you look at them, they play Envy, United, Heretics. I think the big thing for them for Accelerate is maybe you can catch Envy off guard, right? Envy is a team that, like, at times can be inconsistent, and we just don't know how they will play.
But each win would need to be an upset, basically. Like, they're not going to be the favorite in any of those 3 series.
Have you been watching them scrim?
I have not watched them scrim, no.
No, all right, Ben.
I watched the United scrim. I happen to say, hey, Clay.
Hey, can you let Ben go? Ben, 30 seconds. Who do you think's got the roughest week?
I'm going to agree with Pac-Man here. I'm going to say 100 Thieves. You, obviously, Joe, you brought up their schedule. They have to play Splice, United, and Envy. Envy at the PLQ, unbelievable. They were great. I mean, they don't lose. Then you talk about United. Our expectations for them are very, very high in terms of this division. And I think Thieves are going to struggle. You saw it at the PLQ. Yes, you can say, oh, well, you know, they made a roster change. That's great. But as a team, I don't think one person is going to change the problems that they personally have. The core, it didn't look good. They were definitely struggling. And I think if they do start off slow, the big problem for me, let me just make this point. They lost a couple of maps against Mazer, who were the bottom in their PLQ. They obviously played Denial. That's a game where, honestly, I think they could shut up. I think they could actually lose.
Oh, that was, okay.
Hey, it's a long scope with Ben.
But it's not long barrel, it's quick scope, all right, man? Like, get it together. But here's the thing for 100 Thieves.
It's a good point, though.
You talk about them bringing in one person, they actually brought in 2, and I think Crowder could help them out quite a bit.
Fair.
Which brings me to my next question, around coaches. Coaches is a highly debated topic, especially in the green room. Coaches last week have been called out, like you did for Revan, for their poor performance after week 1. And
sure did.
You've seen guys like Teep, Nubsy, Ricky, Atura from Midnight. Based on what we've seen so far, are coaches necessary, or are they just tough or nice to have? Ben, start with you.
I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think, unless you're a player on a specific team with a specific coach, we will ever know.
What kind of answer is that?
It's a correct.
It's not a black hole.
No, it's a correct answer, because we look out and we see, like, oh, in between maps while Teep's on the stage, he's talking to the players. You can sometimes make out what he's saying, but how much are the players going to listen? It's relative to the coach. If it's Teep giving me advice, he's a world champ. I'm obviously going to listen. But to me, it comes down to we don't know how much hard work they do behind the scenes. Obviously, you see Joey with a massive menu.
3, 2, 1.
Do you mind?
Ben's answer was maybe.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't my answer. My answer was we don't know. And how are we ever going to know unless you're on that specific team?
Listen, I don't hate it because we're not on those teams. We don't know the coaches, but I think you guys are going to have some different answers. Maven, what do you think?
I do think nice to have, but this is kind of my logic behind it. It's always been like this for Call of Duty.
28.
Think about like regular sports.
26.
Like you have football, right? Like the NFL. Coaches are very, very involved in play calling. Like they are instrumental to their team's success. Like you cannot get by without having coaches in a game like football.
All right, talk about cut. 15
You look at something like soccer. You have a manager, but like
you talking about?
Dude, can I make my point? Can I make my point? All right, no, whatever. No, I'm done.
5.
So they're not.
I had a fantastic point. I had a fantastic
Coaches
point.
in football are really important.
I had a fantastic point.
And then you look at them in baseball, by the way.
Once they start, the game starts, the coaches have no influence. They have to rely on the players. Like soccer, once the game starts, there's not much they can do whatsoever. It's like the NFL where you are in play-by-play doing stuff.
Well, that's
in
not
COD,
true.
absolutely. Soccer, the coaches, the
make
substitutes, that's it. That's it, though. You know how hands-off it is compared to something like basketball or football.
I think if there's
in
one to
COD,
argue that,
it's
it's
super
probably
hands-off.
Ben. You probably
Super hands-off. Like,
we're talking about
you
Call
can
of
set
Duty.
them up once they start playing.
We're done here, Pac. Please give me an answer.
I'm being surrounded by stupidity. It's so hard to be surrounded by stupidity.
Go ahead.
If they were allowed to talk during the matches, maybe. But since
That's my point I'm making. You wouldn't let me get there.
Since they're not,
it's hard to make a point when someone's yelling at you.
Since they're not, it's completely irrelevant. Nice to have at best.
Thank you for making my point.
Nice to have at best. You talk about Joey Nubsy. He coached Pittsburgh Knights. They're not here. TP, coach ASTRO Gaming last season. What'd they get at champs? Last. Who are the best teams last season? Rise, TK, no coach. You don't need it. Joe, how many times did you have a coach when you were winning? Zero.
But
nice
he
to have.
didn't win that much, though.
Joe is a
Thank
champion.
you for a great answer, Pat.
Nice to have.
That's right. I tried to get to that exact point. You guys cut me off.
Well, I
You
think
have 30
you're just,
seconds.
It's my birthday.
Hey,
Quickscope,
trading
not the
shots, we
long barrel.
debate the CWL, not whatever you were talking about. So let's take a look now. Quickscope's done. Let's take
We need a
look
more
at the
intelligent
standings.
leader for this show.
We definitely don't. I'm the most intelligent. And there we go. We're going to have Pac-Man at first, Ben and Maven. You guys are tied at 9.
He deserves negative points.
I'll tell you what, though. Maven, it's your birthday. I'll give
What? I deserve to start with 1 just for the LG thing.
Yeah, that's also
And
true.
you deserve a negative 1,000 for
So
talking
in our
about football
top
and
2
soccer.
spots-
I had a very
Hold
good
on.
analogy to make.
Hey, well, you didn't really give an answer either.
I said we don't know, which is about
You called coaches a black hole, basically.
There we go.
How? We don't know what's
How
on the other
have
side.
I just been wrong? Pac-Man, if you don't beat this man's soul
All right, Ben.
on his
Ben.
birthday, I'm going to be mad.
Ben, last words for the show.
It's rigged. I'm out.
Hey, see you, Ben. Can you order me Chipotle before you get out of here?
And it is down to 2. Maven versus Pac-Man in our grand finals. As you know, the winner will enter the Smack Talk Winner Circle presented by ASTRO Gaming. Tomorrow will be the first time we've seen Splice and United since Vegas. The rest of the teams had to battle their way through the Pro League qualifier before anyone has even picked up a controller. What player has the most to prove in Division B? Pac, you're in the lead. You're up first. Go.
I'm going to look at this from a different angle. I think the player with the most to prove is Temp. Hear me out.
Okay.
He's one of the few players right now that are in conversation for best player in the game, period. And he's also the single most vocal player in the whole CWL when it comes to everyone else's performance. What they're doing on the map is Temp. He has to show up again. He has to prove that not only was he dominant at Vegas, but he can consistently do it. Because last season, he'll tell you that he was a good player, but every single time we saw him, he was out of the tournament, top 8, top 20 at champs. He has to perform consistently throughout this league. I really think that Donnie has to prove that he's up there with Dashy and Gumless and Hook on a consistent basis.
All right, so Pat goes for Temp. I don't hate it, right? I mean, Splice does have a lot to prove.
It was a better answer than I expected from him, but I still don't think it's the right answer. I think without question, unequivocally, it's Kenny. I think 100 Thieves have the most pressure as an organization coming in just as a squad based on their performances, and the guy under the most pressure is Kenny. Like I think Pac-Man talked a little bit about pressure on Priesta. I don't know if Priesta's really feeling all that much. It is on Kenny. The change was made to keep Kenny on the team, to get him Maddox in his hand and make sure he's comfortable. The superstar, the MVP, the best player of last year has looked average in this game. I think without question, Gumless is great. I love Gun's been playing amazing, but Kenny hasn't been the guy that he is expected to be. That hard carry, the guy going off, dominating the map at a fast pace. I think all eyes for me are on Kenny, without question. He has to perform. And just think about the tweets after the change was made. Basically, all the flack, all the pressure was at the organization and at Kenny. Like, what was it, the Clay tweet that said basically a change happened because Kenny wasn't comfortable running a sub? Like, all eyes are on Kenny. He's got to perform. I don't know if he's going to.
You don't know if he's going to.
No.
I think Kenny's going to be amazing this week.
We'll see.
Now that we're in the stock 1 meta, we've seen a lot of Maddox's shine.
Well, that was my question to you. For a player like Temp, we talk about the stock 1 meta. How do you think he'll be able to adapt to that?
I think that Temp's going to be fine, honestly, but it's really, for him, he's a baiter. He baits the hell out of Dirt. He always talks about it. He's really good at it, though. He's really good at following up his teammates. I don't think that stock 1 meta is going to affect Temp like we've seen it affect a lot of subs in Division A. I think that Temp will be fine.
Yeah, I guess maybe he has to prove it to fans. But like, I guess I already hold him in high regard. Like, I know how good Temp is. I know we know how good Temp is. Yeah,
what? Before Vegas, you were one of the people that was down on Temp.
I have never doubted Temp ever. He's one from a raw talent standpoint. He's a god. I think Temp's incredible. When did I doubt Temp? When? You just made that up. You're a liar. You're a liar, Jonathan Tucker. You're a liar.
You definitely doubted Tim before this. You said he's not very good. I remember,
what?
We were having a conversation. You said he's not very good. What are you talking about? When I put him in a conversation with the best subs going into the season.
I think Tim's incredible. I never said that. That was probably Ben. That sounds like some stuff Ben would say. I don't look at anything like that.
I honestly don't think that. Anyways, let's get back on topic. I don't think that Kenny has as much pressure as people are making it out to see.
Because no one has more than him, though. Even if it's less than I'm making it sound, no one has more than him. Who? Tim does not have more pressure than Kenny going into this. That's
he has to perform for his team. He's his team superstar. Kenny is no longer his team superstar.
Oh, well, I get it from that standpoint, I guess. Like, he has to perform.
He has to perform.
If
Kenny plays a decent week, he plays a decent week.
I get that.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do that.
Tim really has to be the superstar.
Octane.
He has less bailouts. He has less bailouts than maybe you have.
Less bailouts. So you're saying it.
But do you think there are more eyes on Tim's performance than Kenny's? I don't think it's even close from that standpoint. Like, I think more people are watching to see how Kenny's going to perform.
That completely depends on 100 Thieves.
Yeah, but that also completely depends on the start of the week. Because what happens is once you start losing, if you lose, then naturally more eyes are going to be on you, focus on your performance.
I think it even doubles down with their schedule, though. We looked at 100 Thieves' schedule. It's really, really hard, right? They play the top 3 teams, I think, in the division. So it's not like Kenny gets to come in and have a little warm-up. 100 Thieves doesn't get to have a little warm-up. They come in and out the gates. They have tough matchups. So I don't know. I know for me, and I'm sort of talking just from personal perspective, I'm really excited.
The schedule doesn't matter is now saying that the pressure is higher on him because of his schedule?
Yeah.
Will you decide whether or not schedules matter?
Pac-Man, I'm like a leaf in the wind. I go as the wind goes.
Oh, my.
I go as the wind goes, John.
All right, so now let's, take a look. I'll tell you guys, the 3 players I had written down were Temp, Priesta, and Kismet from Enigma 6, because Kismet had a great
I think having Priesta over Kenny is absolutely insane.
And, that's why I said I written them down, and then you surprised me.
Okay.
I think the Kenny answer is the right one. He switches to the Maddox.
My surprise, Joe! Woo!
And I think you can see it as we take a look at our scores once again. Maven.
Wait, did I win?
You won in the grand finals. You are our winner. You're going to the Smack Talk Winner Circle presented by Astro Gaming. Maven, as the champ for the week, your prize is 60 uninterrupted seconds to say whatever you want to whoever you want. Put on that golden headset. Your time starts now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. This is really just at the 3 of you on the desk. You saw the clip last night. I said LG would go 3-1, and all of them laughed at me. They mocked me. They think that I just make up things just to rile up the crowd. But when it boils down to it, I'm a Call of Duty savant. The knowledge within this giant egg-shaped head is incredible. Just years and years of stats and storylines just circulating in this head. There is no one on the planet that understands Call of Duty at the level I do. And to be surrounded by these 3 and just continue dominating. This is the first win on the board, but there's going to be so many more. I mean, look at last year. Ben won like 3 episodes throughout the entire year. Pac-Man's going to get a win here and there. Just basically, it's charity from Joe, which is very, very sweet of Joe. But I love doing this show. I love the fans out there. Thank you so much. I wish that I'd have better people to argue with. I'm sorry that it's as easy as it is.
And that's
he was talking about football.
I'm going to be honest with you. If I could go back, rewind time, just based on that answer, I would probably just make you lose. I'd probably cut you. I'd probably redo it, allow Pac and Ben to do the grand finals, because to be honest, you're not the most intelligent.
The most intelligent Call of Duty personality to ever exist.
Nope. No, you're not.
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Maven. If you would have said this stuff earlier, you probably wouldn't be even in the grand finals. I probably would have put Ben and Pac-Man here. But happy birthday. You know, I'll allow you to win this one. But let's go ahead and take a look at our show standings. I believe we're pretty even across the board. Everybody that's been up here has a win. So this season, already off to a very spicy start. Can't wait for the next one. But that is going to do it for Trading Shots. Pro League continues tomorrow after Hot Mic. Thank you all for watching.